All right, guys, I want to show you a couple more examples here. You should have watched the video with the lady showing you how to factor by multiplying a times c and then using grouping. But when she did it, she had everything positive. She had a positive c term and a positive b term. This is the easiest one since everything's a plus plus, everything adds, and there's nothing really too confusing about those other than the method. I wanted to show you a couple examples where it mixes up a little bit. We'll do one where the c term is positive, but the b term is negative. So I'm still going to add to make this 11. I'm going to be adding with some negative numbers to make the 11. Let's start by multiplying a times c. 2 times 12. Well, 2 times 12, I'm going to put that over here, is 24. And now I need to come up with some factors of 24 that are going to add to make 11. Well, let's see. Factors of 24, 1 and 24. No, they had to make 25. 2 and 12. No, they had to make 14. 3 and 8. Oh, guess what? They had to make 11. So 3 and 8 will be the factor pair that I'm going to use. But I'm not really going to use 3 and 8 because I'm trying to make a negative 11. I'm actually going to use negative 3 and negative 8 because negative 3 times negative 8 gives me positive 24, and negative 3 plus negative 8 gives me negative 11. So I'm going to rewrite this as my 4 terms so I can set up my factor by grouping. 2x squared. In this case, it doesn't even matter which one goes first. They're both going to be negative, so I'm just going to go minus 3x. It really doesn't matter no matter what, which one goes first. Sometimes it's easier one way or the other, though. You'll see in a minute. Minus 8x, and then plus 12. And now I'll use my grouping method, my factor by grouping. That means I'll take the first 2 terms, and I'll group them together, and the second 2 terms, and group them together. Notice I grouped this negative with the 8x because that 8x is negative. And he sent between these parentheses, and I'll put a plus sign. All right. My GCF for the first parentheses when I factor by grouping is just an x. And I will factor that out, and that leaves me 2x minus 3. And my GCF for the second parentheses looks like it could be 4, but I'm trying to get a positive 2x here and a negative 3. So I need this to be positive and this to be negative. So my GCF is actually going to be negative 4. I'll divide that out. That leaves me 2x minus 3. And I've got what I wanted. I've got a parentheses of a binomial that's the same on both. So I'm going to have that parentheses at 2x minus 3. And that binomial is going to multiply by those 2 GCFs, which are x minus 4. You can always check by foiling if you want. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 4 is negative 8x. And then negative 3 times x is negative 3x. That makes it negative 11 total. All right. And negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. Here's my final answer. Just be careful when we did this. Factor by grouping, when that third term is a negative, make sure you group the negative with that term. Okay? One more for you. This time, though, I have a negative c term. That means I'm not going to add to make this. I'm going to subtract to make this 2. So let's start by multiplying a times c. 3 times 8, once again, 24. Except this time, I'm not going to be adding to make 2. I'm going to be subtracting to make 2. Well, I'm going to start at the other end of the factors this time. I'm going to start with 4 and 6. Because I'm trying to get a small number, so I know my factors to be close together. Now I've got to start with 1 and 24. Hey, guess what? 6 minus 4, 2. Jackpot. Now I'm trying to get a positive 2, which means I'm going to need a negative 4 and a positive 6. Okay? Now I'm going to set up my 4 terms with my grouping, 3x squared. Basically, you're taking this b term and splitting it into 2 pieces. Now, I have a -4 and a +6. I can put either one first, but if I want that third term to be positive to make my grouping easier, that means I want this 6 to be third. So I'll put the -4x second. And the +6x third. That just means that when I do my grouping, my third term is a positive. It just makes the grouping easier. And then -8. See how I still have the 3x squared? I still have the -8. I just took this plus 2x and split it into -4x plus 6x so I could group. Now I'll group. Group that and group that. GCF for the first pair is just an x again. That leaves me 3x minus 4. And plus the GCF of the second pair is 2. And that leaves me the same binomial. 3x minus 4. I've got myself a winner. So I'll take that 3x minus 4. I'll pull that out in front. And that's going to multiply those 2 GCFs put together, which is x plus 2. Again, if you FOIL this, you'll end up back where you started. This is my factored answer. Sometimes you're going to notice that some of these don't work out. No matter what you do, you're not going to be able to get factors that are going to pair up to add or subtract to make this middle number. If that's the case, something can't be factored. Well, if something can't be factored, say like 7 or 11 or 19 or 37, we call those numbers prime. You'll notice on the sheet you're doing today that some of the questions say if it can't be factored, you're going to write the answer is prime. Factoring by grouping using the A times C and then grouping is the most traditional method to do these. So give it a shot and see how it goes. Have fun.